If you know anything about Love Island USA, you will know that season 7, it was one for the history books, and not in the good ways. That was the season from hell. So season 8 had a lot to live up to, as in it had a lot to fix. And in my and so many other people's opinions as I've seen, season 8 did that. It delivered. This, in my opinion, beat out season 6, because this season, although it had its problems for sure, it was not perfect. The twists and turns of this season were so good. The cast was spectacular. And there were so many viral moments from this season. So today I kind of just wanted to talk about that. It's kind of the reason I wanted to post on this channel, because I've always just had so many thoughts and stuff to say about random subjects. And so I kind of just want to use this as a way to rant about those subjects that I'm very passionate about, such as Love Island USA. In case you somehow don't know what Love Island USA is, a bunch of single girls and guys get sent to a villa in Fiji for I think 6 weeks or so, and their goal, or at least the goal the show gives them, is to find love. Now throughout the show, different bombshells come in, recouplings happen, and that stirs up more and more drama because of course this is a reality TV show. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the cast. The cast that was announced when this season first started was Trinity, Anaya, Beatriz, Bryce, Melanie, Casey, Sean, Kenzie, Sincere, and Zach. Now, there were 2 other contestants announced as OGs from the start of the season, and that was Gabrielle and Vasana. Now, in case you didn't know, Vasana was kicked off of the show before it even began because old videos resurfaced of her saying slurs, something that you probably shouldn't do. And so, as Love Island does, they took action and got her off the cast. And so, Gabrielle became a bombshell that would come in later on, but not too much later. Now from the start, when the cast was announced, my personal favorites were Kenzie and Trinity. There was just something about them. I could feel it in my bones. I saw their intro videos. I was like, yep, they're gonna be fun. And while we're on the topic of the OGs, I'll talk about the 2 bombshells that came in the first episode, since they basically became OGs, that being Gabrielle and Kada. Now that I've mentioned the cast, I'll mention the bombshells and other contestants as we go on, but I kind of just want to take a moment to talk about each contestant and their storylines individually. I'll start with the winners, Bryce and Trinity. I love Bryce and Trinity to infinity. I saw the potential from week 1, not something a lot of people can say, but when they had that conversation about Bryce talking about laying the foundation and was basically telling Trinity no to being friend-zoned, I knew we were in for a ride this season. All their conversations, I felt like were always so mature, and that definitely has to do with the fact that Bryce is 30. And that is something that they do mention because, of course, Trinity is 22, I believe, and so they do mention the age gap as well as the interracial aspect of the relationship. And it was honestly a really good relationship to watch develop throughout the process of the show, especially during Casa Amor. I'd say Bryce wasn't even open to exploring at all, to be honest. He kind of just did the challenges when he had to, but otherwise, he was not even going to talk to those girls about anything. All that was on his mind was Trinity, and oh my gosh, I could have cried.
Wayne, it's okay.
Trinity as well. She did explore the first day with Corey, but the day after she was like, you know what, this isn't feeling right. I'm not really digging this. I'm stuck on Bryce, and I'm going to choose Bryce after this. And after Casa, they were the strongest couple, which makes sense that they won, because after Casa, they had, I don't want to say no issues, but they didn't really have any tests that really tested the relationship if they wanted to keep exploring, because they closed off, as we all know. Not only closed off, but became boyfriend and girlfriend, and one of the only dates this season besides the finale dates. I think the only date actually besides the finale dates. I might be wrong though. Not including the Paradise Cove date in week 1, because that's a date, but it was a weird situation, so I don't know. And yeah, overall, I love Bryce and Trinity. I'm so glad they won. Honestly, I'm really happy with all the positions in the finale. Well, actually maybe not. Maybe let me not speak too soon, but more on that as I get to those contestants later. Now, there is one girl that I want to talk about here because she went through it, and she made me go through it during this season, watching her, and if you couldn't guess it, that is Kenzie. Like I said, Kenzie was my client from day one, not even day zero. Day zero, I saw her, I was like, she's the one. She came in, week 1, everybody wanted her gone. She was left single and vulnerable after Zach left to be with Kada. She cried once over being left single and vulnerable, but oh, she showed us that she would not ever cry again over a man. I was a Kenzie defender. Where Kenzie did lose me for a second was when it came to the Caleb situation. Now, I think everybody can agree that the Kenzie, Caleb, and Corbin love triangle wasn't really handled the best by Kenzie and Corbin. Kenzie did lie about the kiss, and I don't want to say was leading Caleb on because she did tell him he should explore because she is, but it's really interesting that everybody seems to forget that she told him that. Now, Kenzie was put into a couple with Caleb against her will, and she chose Corbin after in the recoupling after, as we saw, meaning she most likely would have chosen Corbin if she had a choice during the recoupling where she was paired up with Caleb. And during that week, I will admit, I was a little lost on Kenzie. I was like, what are we doing? What are these choices? But once Casa came, something shifted, especially in the villa. The show literally did one of the most insane twists we've seen. If you don't know, Casa Amor is basically where the Islanders, either the boys or girls, depending on what season it is, go to a different kind of villa, and they bring in new guys and girls for both villas, Casa Amor and the regular villa. And this year the boys went to Casa Amor, and they were doing the heart rate challenge where the girls and guys take turns just like doing dances on each other and basically, as it sounds, trying to get their heart rates up. And unbeknownst to the girls in the villa, the guys went to Casa, and it was revealed to them on a live stream as they watched the heart rate challenge that the Casa Amor girls did with the villa boys. And that caused a lot of drama, but one thing it did cause that I'm happy it did was Kenzie dropping Corbin. All it took was Kenzie seeing one disrespectful comment from Corbin, and she said, nah, I'm out. And I have to respect that. She does not give men more than one chance to play in her face. During Casa Amor, the villa was such good vibes. Like, the group of Kada, Melanie, Anaya, Trinity, Jen, and Kenzie was literally the most perfect dynamic I've seen this season. And then Ariana Maddox came in the next day and revealed that 12 new boys would be coming in for the girls to choose from. And so they chose 6 to stay, one of those being Dylan. Kenzie and Dylan immediately hit it off. They coupled up together at the recoupling after Casa, and things were going smooth. That was until Kenzie did want to explore Gaul. And again, I don't get why people seem to have short-term memory when it comes to things Kenzie says, because Kenzie straight up told Jen, if you bring Gaul into the villa, I will want to talk to him and explore him, and Gaul told Jen the same thing. So I don't get why it was a huge deal when Kenzie did kiss Gaul. And Kenzie, one thing about her besides the one kiss with Corbin that was secret, she always tells the truth and she never downplays what happened. Right after she told Dylan, she didn't just say it was a kiss, she was like, yeah, we made out. And she's upfront about what she does. And it kind of caused Dylan to go a little crazy. Like, I don't really know why he took it so personally. I mean, I understand why, but one, the Casa boys did watch the season coming in, so Dylan should have known this was a thing. And 2, I feel like it just was not that big of a deal, especially since Kenzie stopped with Gaul after the kiss. And then Kenzie and Dylan were fine again until movie night, when the secret kiss with Corbin was revealed and like all the conversations with Caleb and Corbin during that time. And for some reason, Dylan felt the need to say that he felt like it was last night all over again, that her words don't mean anything, even though Dylan had seen that stuff happen, I'm pretty sure. So it was just really confusing, but once they talked and fixed it up, they were really cute and I liked them together at the end. And the time that they left the villa tied for 5th place, I did like them a lot together. And I do think Kenzie should have been in the finale over one couple, but I will talk about that when we get to that couple. So yeah, overall, I just really loved Kenzie. She went through a lot, but she pushed through, and she's one of my favorite contestants on Love Island USA ever. I don't know if we're gonna ever get another contestant like her just because of the reception from the public on her and how she moved, even though she literally moved the way you're supposed to on Love Island, which is explore your connections. By the way, sorry if you hear like an air sound in the back. It's just my air conditioning because it is really hot right now. Now, let me get into a couple that I loved at the start, and by the end, I felt things that I'm not even sure I can say about one of the people in this couple. That being Anaya and Casey. Now let's start with Anaya. I love Anaya. She got 2nd place with a man that we will bring up in a little bit, and I loved her. She was always there for the girls. She was one of the first girls to walk in alongside Kenzie, and I always loved them two together as a duo because of that. And Anaya and Casey were coupled up initially from day one. Not by choice though, because Anaya originally stood behind Sincere's door, but Sincere chose Melanie instead, and oh, we will get into them. Then Casey's door was empty, and because Anaya wasn't chosen and Casey's door was empty, they were paired up together. Now, remember this empty door because it gets brought up so much by Casey.
Empty.
Is there no one that...
Yeah.
And I was always a contestant that she was basically like the therapist of the villa for like the first half of the season, always talking to other people about their problems, what like they should do and stuff. And she honestly never really got too much screen time like about her problems until those problems started to become more and more prominent. Anaya is also an islander that has gotten so much hate for reasons I don't understand, because in my eyes, she did not do anything wrong besides one thing, some advice that she gave to Melanie, where she was forgiving Sincere for all the things that he did and telling her to go back to him, when I just think that was not the right thing to say, especially since she's friends with Sincere, so that definitely affected her opinions and judgment. But she was later called out on that and apologized for it. So I honestly don't know why she gets so much hate. Everyone's always like, oh, she wants attention or because of this and this. She's always crying about Casey and stuff. But Casey was always saying stuff like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're the blueprint, stuff like that, reaffirming her basically. But then when there was a triple bombshell with Caleb, Jen, and Soul, Casey was attracted to Soul, and it was pretty obvious to everybody, but he never really explored her. But he knows, and we know, that he wanted to, and regrets not doing so. He even says it later. And this really brought up problems for Anaya, rightfully so, because she's like, why are you lying to me? Like, if you want to explore Soul, that's fine, but just be honest about it. I don't know why you have to lie about not wanting to explore her. And Casey started feeling like Anaya was, I don't even know what he was thinking, to be honest. Maybe he thought she was needy, or she was too much, causing too many problems, or making too much out of nothing. I don't really know. But their drama peaked when it got to Casa Amor. During that very same live stream, KC was also exposed, saying very disrespectful comments about Anaya, ones that she saw, and many more that she didn't see until later during movie night. Now, KC really connected with Tierra, or as she likes to be called, TT in Casa Amor. And Anaya really connected with Carl. And during Casa Amor, a lot of the girls, especially Kenzie, was like, you guys need to explore, because if they explore and they bring someone back, you're gonna regret that you didn't explore. And Anaya agreed. She was like, you know what, fair point. And so she did. She really did try it with Carl. But at the end of the day, during that recoupling, she chose KC. And while we're on the topic of this recoupling, this was like the most insane moment this season, because so much happened. Casey obviously chose to recouple with TT because for some reason he just had some resent for Anaya, saying, oh, we have nothing in common, oh, she doesn't give me what I want, this and this, blah blah blah. And it just seemed like he was just waiting for an opportunity to leave Anaya. And so the recoupling comes around. Anaya chooses to stay single, much to Carl's dismay, but he's such a gentleman that he's like, it's okay, it's okay. And then KC walks in with TT and the villa blows up.
I remember you mentioned something about how you shot Tommy in when they were a couple compared to everybody else. They switched up the moment to get invite. So why did you make that comment if you switched up?
That's actually false. I didn't split up the person on it. There's been multiple bunches.
But you told her that you didn't want to score invite because you forgot you at the moment. You can wait for her, you can actually do the thing. I just think like, you got sold, like, you got sold. Like, you
KC starts talking about how Anaya didn't choose him when she literally did. The only time she did not choose him was their initial recoupling, and he didn't choose her either. So I don't know why he's so focused on that. He mentions the door, how his door was empty, and how it really messed him up or something. I don't even know what was his thought process, to be honest. But Anaya starts going off on Casey, saying, what are you talking about? I did choose you time and time again. I chose you this time again, and you did not choose me. And then TT starts to come in, and I don't even know what she was thinking. Nobody was talking to her. So honest about that. No one was talking to her. No one was disrespecting her in any way until she started defending Casey's disrespectful actions. And so everybody's mad, crying, like emotions are high right now in the villa. The recoupling ends and Anaya goes off crying, regretting not choosing Carl. Melanie goes up, she's like, hey, it's okay, don't cry, you know, just building her up as a good friend. And so Anaya has a pretty rough time for the couple days after that, and Casey just seems to not be able to take accountability until later on for some reason. And he also continues to be disrespectful. Like this one time that Sincere was talking to this girl and Melanie was looking at them, Casey and TT started making fun of her, saying, oh, she looks like an idiot, and it was laughing at her. It was just really weird and disrespectful and like honestly off-putting. And the same thing happened during the recoupling when Anaya left crying. Casey and TT were laughing. They were acting like everyone was having a jolly old time. It was just really weird and tone deaf, and I don't know why they acted the way they did. Anyways, flash forward a couple days. There was a vote to bring back 2 Casa contestants, 1 guy, 1 girl. The girl being Amora, the same girl that Sincere was talking to when that situation I just mentioned happened. And the guy being Carl. He is a gentleman. He's amazing. He's literally out of a fairy tale. He is perfect for Anaya. He's so nice to her. They have so much in common as well. And so when Carl comes back, Anaya is so happy, rightfully so, because she gets a second chance. And she definitely makes sure to tell Carl, she's like, hey, I understand this might be weird, you know, because I didn't choose you at first. I can understand if you don't want to keep exploring this. But Carl's like, no, it's fine. My walls are up a little bit, obviously, but I definitely want to keep exploring this. And Carl was definitely lying about those walls, or they were made out of paper, because those walls came down quick. Carl and Anaya quickly grew into one of the strongest couples in the villa, finally coupling up at the final recoupling, going all the way to second place in the end. I love that for them. They were definitely my second favorite in the finale, and the top 2 spots during the finale were perfect for me. And I loved Anaya's journey. She went through so much, and oh my god, her final date with the storybook of her and Carl's journey, I was literally crying. That was literally the best date Love Island has ever done, genuinely.
Fuck, dude, like, fuck, what the fuck?
Now, before we get into the biggest evil this season, I want to bring up an evil that was not discussed by many people, but is something that should be talked about, and that is Zach. Zach and Kata were coupled up from day 2 after Kata came back with Bryce and Zach from Paradise Cove. She chose Zach and stuck with it. And they were together until the end, making the finale and making 4th place, which I don't even think they should have been there. Zach, his evil actions were not as obvious as those of KC, Sincere, or even Corbin, but they were definitely there, and it was really manipulative in my opinion, how he would talk to Bryce about Trinity, being like, oh, sometimes I feel like you, me, and Kata have a better time than you, me, Kata, and Trinity. And overall really like disrespecting Trinity, talking down on her, saying Bryce would definitely choose Kata over Trinity when he pulls Kata for a chat. And then when they go into the hideaway, which is like one of the most intimate places you can be on Love Island, he starts talking about, oh, are you gonna kill me if I explore a bombshell? And even Kata's like, what the hell, dude, this is not the time to talk about that. And during a recoupling where they send Gabrielle or Gabe home, Zach gets pissed at the girls, including Kata, saying, as a joke. This is a thing that Zach does a lot, where he will say something disrespectful or that's like really important or something huge, and he's like, oh, I'm joking. And Zach says to Kata and the girls that they might not be getting breakfast tomorrow. Now, if you don't know, on Love Island, it's kind of just like an unwritten rule that the boys make breakfast every morning for the girls and bring it up to them while they're getting ready. And so Zach's like, you guys aren't getting food tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I'm joking. That's a really weird thing to joke about, and even Kata's like, what? You're not funny. And Trinity and Kata, rightfully so, they're like, if you have a problem, just speak up, because why are you so mad about that? And the next morning, Zach doesn't make Kata food. Kata goes down, he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't really have enough time. He's like, I can make you something right now, and Kata's like, no, it's fine, I'll make it for myself. And I'm pretty sure Zach does eventually cave and make her food, but not until she comes down and like is like, why the hell didn't you make me food, you know? So it's just really weird and odd, and his behavior doesn't end there, because not only Bryce and Trinity, but there were other couples where I feel like he really tried to plant seeds of doubt and try to break them up almost. There's a term in the Love Island fandom, scammer, for someone who's just like there for fame and like wants to win and stuff and not really like cares about love and stuff like that. And I really do see Zach as that, because do I think he likes Kata? Yes, but I think Kata likes him way more than he does. When Zach and Kata get voted into the bottom 3 during a vote reveal, Zach loses his mind. He's like, I can't believe Casey and T3 were above us. How are we not there? We've been together since day 2. As if that means anything on if you're compatible. Being together since day 2 does not make you compatible. Anaya and Casey were together from day 1, and they were definitely not compatible. The way Zach acts, it's almost childish in a sorts, where he's just like, he gets so mad and basically just like shuns Kata out and stuff, and he really does take out, I feel like, a lot of his issues on Kata, and I really do feel bad for her on that. And then when Family Day rolls around, he's talking to Charlie, who was a contestant on season 7, but we're not even gonna talk about him. And he's like, oh, do you think we're compatible? And like everyone's saying they're compatible, but then Kata's family does bring up to her, they're like, I do realize that Zach really likes to joke about a lot of stuff. Another example, one time Zach and Kata were in bed and Zach was saying I love you during the night so many times, but the next morning he's like, oh, I was joking, which on Love Island, and honestly during relationships, like that's not really something you joke about, I feel like, but especially on this show where that means a lot. And I feel like he just uses I'm joking as a way to get out of taking any accountability, and he didn't take any accountability, because during movie night he did not get clips that exposed him and the weird things that he said. And it's just so, it feels so producery plant to me, because why? Just why? Why did he get no negative clips or anything? Like nothing to show Kata something. The only thing that was shown was him and Alana kissing. Alana was the girl that he connected with at Casa Amor, but had to leave because, again, she was removed for saying racial slurs. It's not that hard to not say slurs, people. Alana's not the point, though. The point is, Zach lied to Kata, saying, oh, I could have brought Alana back if I wanted to, but I still chose you. You couldn't have brought Alana back. There was physically no way for you to bring Alana back because she left. And Kata even notices this during movie night where the one clip actually exposing Zach shows up, and she's like, where's the angel girl? Something that Kata called Alana. And Jaden, another Casa girl, was like, she left during day 2. And Kata was like, what the hell? Why didn't you tell me? And another thing that I actually do want to say about Kata is she is too forgiving of Zach's behavior, because after movie night, Zach and Kata talk, and Zach just like makes jokes, laughs, and then he randomly says, oh, you look really beautiful. And Kata just smiles, laughs, and forgives him and moves on. And so they made it to the finale, which I don't think they should have. And I think the producers do too, because during the finale, their date was literally going on a boat in a swamp and eating like Subway sandwiches. That was their date. Now, before we get into hashtag the couple of this season, not in a good way, I want to talk about just some minor contestants and Islanders, one of them being Jen. I love Jen. She came in during the triple bombshell with Sol and Caleb. She was coupled up with Gabe when Beatrice was voted off. And I loved Jen. Everybody called her a nothing bird because she was honestly always there. But towards her time at the end, she started to become an everything bagel, as she's been now called, because she was clocking people left and right. She was real as hell in that villa. And I just love Jen. And she's had an insane post-villa run already with sponsorships, having a dunk tank at Gall's coffee shop. And speaking of Gall was really weird because I feel like he was brought in and he kind of just ditched Jen, who was the person who brought him in. He would not have been brought into the villa if it was not for Jen. And then he starts going for Kenzie, but she's like, nah, I'm really more interested in Dylan. And then he goes for Amora, who is not interested in him at all. And I'm pretty sure he's not even interested in her. And they get voted off when they recouple anyways. And there's this one conversation that he has with Jen that was like really manipulative and weird, and he was just looking for an issue to like stop exploring her, and it was just really weird. And he's been held accountable for it though. He's even like poked fun at himself. He's had a dunk tank where you could dunk him and take all your anger out on him about what he did. Even letting Jen do it, even doing a photo shoot with Jen where she like ties him up and stuff. It was really cool. And honestly, Gall's had like a post-villa redemption arc, and it's because of something that Zach has not done as of the time I'm recording this, take accountability for his actions. Caleb and Jaden, Caleb was always kind of there.
Are y'all making a sandwich or y'all gonna keep recording?
It's gonna be a little.
He had a love triangle with Kenzie and like a really, really small love triangle with Corbin and Parmita. But it always seemed like Caleb didn't really try a lot. Like, he tried, obviously, but it feels like he kind of just gave up sometimes and would just be passive when a connection that he wanted to explore was taken by somebody else, until he was coupled up with Jaden, and they were fine together until they kind of had one argument, but then they figured it out, but it was too late because they got voted off. I really liked Caleb and Jaden together, honestly. They were both nothing burgers that I loved. Jaden especially, she was the Casa girl that came in with no aggressiveness. She knew that if she just didn't really get aggressive and start yelling and defending disrespectful actions, she would be fine. And she was. She became really good friends with some of the Villa girls and remained really, really good friends with the Casa girls, of course. And yeah, that's about it for them. I just really love Caleb and Jaden. They're cool. Now, Sean is an Islander that was not there for a while. He was dumped during week 1 after Corbin chose to recouple with Kenzie. He was really funny though. I liked his connection with Beatrice. And overall, he was just really fun. He took it like a champ. He was not upset or anything. He understood the game is the game. Speaking of Beatrice, I do have some thoughts on her because there's this viral moment where Melanie kind of crashes out after Beatrice kind of goes off on Melanie.
Give me 10. Give me 10.
Because she just needs a break, you know. She just went through a lot. People were yelling at her, like accusing her of stuff. And Beatrice is just really a straightforward person. And I feel like that's not a bad thing. But I feel like you do have to know when to not be as straightforward and be a little more understanding. And that's kind of something that I feel like Beatrice didn't really do. I feel like there was this one moment where it was really pick me, where she was talking to, I can't remember if it was Sincere and she was just talking about like, oh yeah, with girls, all you always gotta say is your feelings are valid, this, blah, 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 and basically just like, I don't know, it was really weird, and it kind of was explained because Beatriz was like, oh, I've just like always had more guy friends than girls because I'm not more naturally feminine presenting, so I've just always fit in more with guys, and you know, that's like fine, like who cares, but it's also like, I feel like that's just really odd to say either way. And I saw this post on Twitter during the season, and it was kind of true. It was like, if Beatriz was still in the villa, I do feel the dynamic would have been a lot different. It would have been a little more similar to season 7, I can even say, because I do feel that with Beatriz there, the girls did villainize each other a lot more. I feel like the vibes were a lot more aggressive in our time there, and after she left, there were definitely moments where fights were had, arguments were had, and people were villainized, but I do feel like it was a lot more, as people say, Friendship Island coded after she left. And again, I'm not like dunking Beatriz or anything. I really loved her, honestly. She was real. She was a little too real, but it was kind of needed, but not to that level. You know what I'm trying to say. It's really weird to explain. And I do want to say that her conversation with Gabrielle was so beautiful. Them talking in Spanish to each other, like, oh, it made me cry. It was so emotional. Corbin and Parmita. Real quick before I get into the final couple, After Sun, I did not like it. It had its moments when it was Islanders I liked, but the hosts, Sierra and Teffy, always just felt really biased towards the Islanders that they liked. They had this really weird like hate for Kenzie. They hated Kenzie so much. They would always like dog on her, and when Kenzie was finally on After Sun, it seemed like they just like could not, like they were laughing. It feels like they just did not want her there, and it was just a really weird vibe. And I honestly, After Sun is so useless. Like the only good thing it gave us was seeing the Islanders' reactions after they get their phones for the first time. There was also a karaoke challenge that I wanted to mention real quick. It was so cute and wholesome. Kenzie and Dylan won it because their routine was so good. And honestly, Love Island needs more wholesome challenges like that and less disgusting food ones, but I'm not even going to talk about that, or I might throw up just thinking about it. Now let's get into the main drama from this season. Sincere and Melanie.
I hear you taking a shit. Hurry the fuck up.
Sincere and Melanie were together from day one. They were coupled up at the doors. They were not together for their entire time on this season. They started out fine. It was smooth. That was until the bombshell, Corbin, came in. Melanie started like freaking out over Corbin. Honestly, I wouldn't even say she was freaking out. She was just excited, rightfully so. Like, it's a new bombshell, new connection to potentially explore, which is what you're supposed to do on Love Island. And everybody was villainizing Melanie. They were like, why are you doing so much? Like, why are you acting this way? Like, do you not like your current connection? Are you really desperate to leave? When Melanie was just excited, you know, she was just like that. That's when Bea was like telling her off and Melanie had to leave, saying give me 10. And Sincere got really mad at her, was like, oh, when I explore, like, you get mad, but when you do it and I'm mad at you, I'm the villain. And like, I get him in a way, but at the same time, it was not, it just was not that big of a deal that people made it out to be. And it got even worse when, during this one challenge, Melanie kept kissing Sincere and Corbin back and forth. Now, do I think that she could tell who was Sincere and who was Corbin? Yes. But honestly, she was having fun during a challenge, and everybody kisses everyone during these challenges, so it's like not even that big of a deal during a challenge. And then Sol, Jen, and Caleb were revealed to come in. Sincere was immediately into Sol, and she was into him. And he started exploring her, talking with her, and Melanie was like, do you want to explore Sol? And Sincere kept telling her, no, I don't. But he would then tell Sol, yeah, I definitely want to explore this. Like, I want to see what we have going on. One time even spending hours talking to Sol and Soul Ties. And it all came to a peak at the America's Vote recoupling, where Sol was coupled up with Sincere, and Melanie was coupled up with Corbin. Now, Melanie at this point, I feel like she was kind of into Corbin, but she didn't really care as much as like when he first came in, because she had seen more of like the way he acts and stuff, and like wasn't really into it, which I get. But Sincere was really into Sol, saying, oh, I'm all in on this now that we're in a couple. but then later telling Melanie, oh, we'll figure this out, like I still want to be with you, and just telling everybody different things, saying what they wanted to hear. In his words, he's a people pleaser, but what is people pleasing about doing this? Like, I don't get it. He just wanted to have his cake and eat it too, in the words of him, since he loves his analogies.
No. Wait. Wait.
And eventually, there was a recoupling where Sincere decided to recouple with Melanie. Now, Sol, rightfully so, felt blindsided because Sincere was just telling her that he is all in on them and not wanting to explore Melanie at all. Meanwhile, he just did this, and then when Sol talks to him, she's like, you're annoying, like, you're weird, I don't want to talk to you anymore, you're so shady the way you move. And Sincere's like, okay, which is something he always does when people make him take accountability, is just be like, okay, yeah, for sure, I agree, yeah, no, it really is, yeah. He's just like, really is that people pleaser, but it's not even like people pleasing at that point. You're like just lying, and you're just doing it to get out of the situation. And so Sol goes home, and Sol and Aftersun did have a lot to say about Sincere. She was like, he's really weird the way he moves, like if you wanted Melanie, just be honest, like I don't really know. Sol had a really honestly bad experience from what we've heard from her during the villa. Why, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, obviously the Sincere thing was bad, but with the girls, I don't really know. But Sincere and Melanie's story does not end there. They were good for a little bit until Casa came around. I can't really remember if Sincere said anything disrespectful during the live like Casey and Corbin, but he was definitely acting like he wanted to keep exploring in Casa during that challenge. And Melanie noticed this. She was like, turn this off. I do not want to watch this anymore. And Melanie really connected with Corey during Casa, but she chose to stay with Sincere at the end, even though she was telling everybody else to explore and recouple, honestly, because she knew they were going to come back with other people. But Melanie should have listened to her own advice, because Sincere really liked Amora in Casa. When the recoupling comes around, he tells her that he's going to go back single. But then, during a clip that is shown during movie night that Melanie sees, Sincere tells Amora, if we had more time, I know you would have been the one. What? Like, Sincere just wants to have everything he can. He just thinks that these girls will not talk to each other ever, and he'll never be found out. And so Sincere goes back, and Melanie's happy, but she does tell him off. She's like, you gotta stop acting like this. You say you love me, but how do I know that when you're acting this way? How do I know that when you keep lying to me? And she just goes off, well deserved for Sincere. And Sincere, as always, just sits there saying, yeah, I agree, yeah. And it just gets to a point. During movie night, Sincere is so bad, he has 2 different movies play about him. And by the end, Melanie is in tears. She's distraught. She leaves movie night. She's like, I can't do this anymore. And everyone, even the guys to Sincere, are like, dude, what did you do? Corbin's like, I feel betrayed. Everyone's like, why are you acting like that? Like, that's not the way you move around here. And we're still not at the climax of this yet, because then comes Family Day. Family Day, the producers knew what was going to go down because they saved Melanie and Sincere's families for the end of the day, being the last ones to come. Melanie's mom and sister come, and Sincere's stepdad and brother come. Now, the first thing that Sincere's stepdad says is, we apologize for how Sincere acts. That is not how we act in this family. Like, that is terrible what he did to Melanie. And then Melanie's sister is like, yeah, what I saw, I'm not messing with that. This is so disrespectful. I've never seen my sister cry like that. Like, that is terrible. And Sincere, as always, I don't even have to say it, you know what he said back. And then the families go their different ways. Sincere's brother and stepdad are like, you have to stop this. Like, you need to change. This is not the way you're supposed to be doing this. Like, you're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing your family. You're embarrassing everyone that is close to you because of how you're acting. And Melanie's family is literally crying, begging her. They're like, you deserve better than this. You need to stop being with Sincere. And Melanie's mom says such a beautiful line. She's like, you keep giving Sincere a second chance when there are guys out there who are waiting for their first.
No, oye, ¿para qué tú vas a dar una segunda oportunidad cuando varios están esperando por la primera?
And Melanie's crying. Everybody's crying, rightfully so. Like, it's a very emotional moment. Like, there's a lot of emotions. And they're just like, please stop being with Sincere. But at the end of the night, she goes up to Sincere and she's like, I'm gonna listen to my heart and not listen to what everyone else told me, and I want to keep sticking this out. And it was at that point I knew it was over. Melanie and Sincere were never gonna leave each other, and they kind of just stayed like all the way to the finale, where they got third only because people voted Melanie in the finals. They did not vote for Sincere. I know that for a fact. And I think we really need to stop this voting people into the finals because of one person thing, because that is not the point of the show. That is not who should be winning. That happened last year with Amaya and Brian. I love Amaya, but her and Brian were not the best couple that was an option. That's also how Huda made it to the finale last year. Like I said, last year was just really bad. Last year was terrible.
Wait a minute. What?
I think Melanie and Sincere should have honestly been dumped when Caleb and Jaden and Amora and Gal were during the least compatible couples challenge, because they are the least compatible. Now, while we're talking about Sincere, I do want to talk about something pretty bad that his family did. They were on a live watching the finale, and Sincere's whole family was just like talking smack about the Islanders in the finale. They were like, oh, Trinity and Bryce, that's fake love. Said some comment about Anaya looking like Shrek in the swamp, which is just like, that's so weird to say. You're just making yourselves look even worse than your son already has. You're embarrassing your family even more than he did, because why do you feel the need to say these comments about other people when you could just, you know, be nice? And they doubled down on it too. It was just really weird. But enough about that drama. Overall, this season of Love Island felt like a fresh breath of air compared to season 7. The friendships were amazing. The drama points were awesome. The twists of this season were so good. Some of the best moments we've had on Love Island USA. I'm so seated for the reunion on August 31st. I will definitely make a video about that because I will probably have a lot to say. I do wish it was a little earlier though, because I do feel like a lot of the drama and stuff will be dry by then, and they're just going to be kind of dragging it out. But who knows, maybe other drama will occur during the time between now and the reunion. If you somehow made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, because I know it's probably not really tempting to sit through a video this long of someone who is like posting their first video. And so I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and maybe share this video to your friends if they watch Love Island too and have some thoughts on it. And not everything on this channel will obviously be Love Island related, because like I said, I do just kind of want to use this as like a way to dump and talk about things that I like anything: movies, TV shows, video games, reality TV shows, events, like pop culture, stuff like that. But whenever my next video is, that is when I will see you next. Until then, peace out.
Can we get one more last fuck, bruh?
Fuck, bro. Wow. If I had multiple cakes.
You're lying.
I'm not a liar.
You guys all jumped on this man for finding a connection with me. I'll do it again.
There's no real moral paragon in this place right now.
You're hot, I'm hot. Like, I have to pursue this one.
With daylight savings time,
What? Just because he's promiscuous doesn't mean he's not capable of loving somebody.
Hello, this is a smoothie.
They just did the split together.
Melanie.
All right, big dog.
Big night for Gal.
I'm TT. Mama happy. I was there.
Oh, you were doing the dance thing, but you didn't hear the comments.
Bitch, it's your family cat.
Ladies.
Ew, Corbin.
It's coming off as very, like, aggressive.
Give me 10. Boot this girl out of this bitch. Fuck you! I know you're sincere, but you're not honest. Grandmama's coming. Still you rise, I guess.
Oh. You think I would have went home?
I don't think we should think about that.